Da 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 da, la da 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 da.
Hey, don't release that shit.
If you don't know who I am or what I'm doing already, my name is Allison Shockley, and my fiance, Danny Caudle, and I have been touring all 50 states of America. We've been pouring our hearts out into the people we meet, and although we are exhausted after only 2 states, we continue to push on. Where I last left off was when we were back in Yreka, helping Danny's sister with a service project. We made heart-shaped pancakes, ate them with our family, and got on the road. I got to sit next to my new boyfriend, Parker. Liz and Justin had to take the kids into Oregon for school shopping, so we caught a ride with them. We stopped at a Goodwill, and I couldn't help but indulge, and got a new shirt. But Medford was the end of the line for them, so they dropped us off there. I will really miss Liz. It's amazing what you can learn about a person during a 24-hour drive. I won't just miss Liz, I'll miss them all. Sometimes our brains get a little scattered on the road, and we can't decide where to go. Portland or Seattle, we didn't know. We just wanted to be on the road. In Medford, we threw up a sign and got picked up by our first truck driver named Jersey. Or at least that's what people call him, because that's where he's from. Jersey is your typical East Coast guy, with East Coast Italian hospitality. When we got in the cab, he asked if we were hungry. Pizza's in the Tupperware, sandwich fixins are in the cooler. And these, he points to the Taco Bell bag, these are my tacos. You can't have them. Jersey gave us a wealth of trucker philosophy, how to be appealing to people who see us. Be clean, smile, no pets. Fly a sign that has a specific mileage or destination on it. Or just put on the sign, next truck stop. If the person enjoys your company, they'll take you as far as they go. These truck cabins are like prisons. 8 by 12. We had an awesome ride, and when we were dropped off, he made us sandwiches for the road. Thanks, Jersey. So we listened to Jersey, and we changed our sign to Portland. But we were so drained, we got a room. We were in Oakland, Oregon, and stumbled upon a very unique hotel. By far, the cutest room I've ever been. The hotel had a restaurant attached, and as starving as we were, we decided to spring for that as well. And I'm thankful we did, because that's where we met Scot and Pat. They were sitting at a table next to us, and we talked almost all night. And the next morning, Scot picked us up for coffee. Scot and Pat have 270-acre farm and work for the school board. They had a beautiful view from their kitchen and a very unique custom home and a baby goat. We walked around the property for a bit and reflected on our travels. We talked music with Scott a bit longer and then decided to hike back to the I-5.
Hiking to the I-5. It's about a 3-mile hike. This pretty lady right here. Oh yeah, come on.
But we didn't forget to stop and taste the berries. Blackberries grow wild in Oregon, like a weed, a really tasty weed. We got to the I-5, and that's where we got picked up by Patty, who was on her way to pick her daughter up from jail. But too many red flags started flying. She was swerving all over the road and had 2 phones, which neither one had contacts programmed in. Plus, we think she tried to drive off with our stuff at one point, so we parted ways with her and Eugene. That's where Dan picked us up. He saw us struggling on the busy freeway and pulled over without us even asking. Nice guy who just found himself a nice gal and was on a business trip. He worked for a renewable energy company and had to drop off yard signs to homes. So we went and helped him. It's not like we had anything else to do. Dan had to get to work after the delivery, so he dropped us off at the best on-ramp he knew of and got on his way.
Trying to get a ride I-5 north to Portland. Come on!
We hit the road and began thumbing for a ride. Not long after, we caught a ride from Caleb. As we were becoming acquainted with each other, we realized we were connecting really well. So much, Caleb invited us to his home. Danny and I quickly became comfortable in his home. Although Caleb is relatively young, he has his life together and a beautiful home. Similarities kept coming. Danny and Caleb went to the same university around the same time. Caleb also had an interest in music. How to write popular, catchy music, mashups to be specific. Danny took this as an opportunity to show the simplicity of popular music, although this is not easy to understand, at least not for me anyway. Caleb had a prior engagement before he picked us up, so he dropped us off at a Safeway and gave us his word he would meet back up with us afterwards.
Allison got a new toy.
At Safeway, we had a chance to get some work done, relax, and have some fun. After a while, Caleb picked us up and brought us back to his home and introduced us to his roommate and friends. We sat around sharing stories, eating, and enjoying each other's company for the evening. We slept in the unfurnished basement. See, they don't have basements in California, and this is the first basement I've slept in. It was really creepy. I adjusted quickly and appreciated a roof over our heads and the hospitality he gave to us. We woke up first thing in the morning, and Caleb dropped us off at Wilsonville before he went to work.
Okay, Caleb.
Allison, Salt Lake City. You guys have fun.
Yeah.
I'll call you.
Thanks for everything, Caleb. We won't forget this experience. After saying our goodbyes, we were exhausted. We hadn't got much sleep from the creepy basement, but we couldn't stop.
Transit Center. Doors to
I was too excited to see where Danny grew up. I wanted to see where he went to school, his city, his culture. So Danny showed me around. Portland is the city of roses. First, he took me to his school, Portland State University. Lincoln Hall is the music school of PSU, located right on the park blocks downtown. We went to the mall, street performed for a bit. And that's when Danny decided to reach out to his friend Andy.
What's up, man?
Road tripping it?
Road tripping it. You're in a documentary.
Oh, yeah? Well, I give you permission to film me.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome back to your hometown.
Andy knew we were tired, so he entered us into the quote-unquote chill zone. Andy is a cool dude that Danny has played music with for years. Very talented guy. And he and Danny seem to balance each other out. Danny being more serious, and Andy being the life of the party. He has this amazing view from his roof. You can see both Mount St. Helen and Mount Hood. He grilled up some food for us, and we chilled. And of course, they made some music, most of which you've been listening to during this video. Andy has this wonderful girlfriend, Libby, who really helped me connect to the emotional side of our documentary. She suggested I journal to help with narration. Genius. I got lots of footage of Libby, but lost it for some reason. The only footage I have left is the back of her head. Crazy. So you have to just take my word for it that she is absolutely beautiful. Another one of Danny's friends I met was Sean. Sean is a karaoke host at the Hitch and has a podcast.
That's the Rad Rewind. You can find us on iTunes. Just search Rad Rewind. Subscribe. Tell your friends.
That was good.
Mostly what I learned from Sean is that these videos we put together now are just a chaotic update for our friends and family. But when we finish the tour, I'll have to have a focus point in which will mostly be about the people we meet. In the morning, I got to meet Danny's cousins, Jeff and Nick, and Nick's girlfriend, Renee. We went to breakfast at the radio room and listened to Nick's horror stories about getting the shits in the Navy. Hilarious dude. He was leaving that day to ship out to Japan for 2 years. Jeff, on the other hand, lived in the area. He loves to bike around and check out bars. Kinda reminds me of a tower rat. After breakfast, we ran into a free store, and you better believe I took advantage.
I'm Karen, and this is a free store. We have them every month at different places around Portland. And it's just, it's like a garage sale, except everything's free. So people bring stuff they don't want, and we put it all out, and people take it home.
Where did you get this idea from?
Different people around Portland are doing similar things. Kate, that's standing right over there, she brought lunch. She's from Food Not Bombs, and they do free food in the same way. There's people organizing a repair one where people come with their broken appliances and stuff, and they fix them. I just went to one that was people teaching classes and people taking classes. So, it's just something that people are doing. You find out more about us, it's PDX.
It's things like this that make it possible to travel.
Considered treason unless they're successful. So, if anyone thinks that what you're doing is silly, tell them it won't be silly if you're successful. Well, food for thought. Alright, bud. Nice to meet you. Give me a hug.
It was such a pleasure.
I felt like I hadn't had enough of Portland, so we rode the Max back to walk around. I wanted to see what made Portland so weird. Honestly, Portland seems pretty normal to me. We stopped by Pal's to get a journal because I really want to improve our documentary and be less mechanical about them. And then after we posted up to talk. One thing we learned on the road is we have to talk once a day to stay connected. Sometimes things move too fast for us and we can't lose sight of why we are out here. I think this is why we never fight, knock on wood. Afterwards, Danny Street performed, and as much as people enjoyed it, they also seemed to be used to it. So not too many tips. During his performance, I connected with Caleb's mom. She will be putting us up for a night in Olympia. The next leg of our tour will be of Danny and I studying our genealogy. We will be meeting up with Danny's Native American grandmother, and I will be collecting photos of my deceased mother from my aunt in Washington. So next stop, Washington.
I killed a baby today. He said, hey, 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 and then I squeezed his gay ass about the payment and I took a... I was like, fucking with a gay baby.